And today we're going to learn more about an organization that envisions a world where every person with a disability finds hope, dignity, and their place in the body of Christ. That's Joni and Friends. I think that's a good thing. And joining us is the Mississippi director, Miss Azia Smith, to tell us a little bit more. Hey, Miss Azia.
Hi, Rebecca. Thank you so much for having me.
I told you, I said, man, I hate that I'm just now learning about Joni and Friends here in Mississippi. I feel like I have heard the name, but I don't know enough about it, which means there's someone listening that's going to think the same thing. And you responded, we were one of the best, or you guys are one of the best kept secrets when it comes to here in Mississippi. So how do you explain Joni and Friends?
Yes, so we are a nonprofit that is ministry-based, and our founder, Johnny Erickson Tada, actually had a diving accident when she was 17 years old that left her quadriplegic, and through an amazing conversion of faith, she ended up becoming an artist and then a speaker, and it has just kind of steamrolled into this thing that is now global. And she has been such a treasure to get to work with personally and to watch how this ministry serves so many people all across the world. We have a lot of different facets of how we communicate with people. One of my favorites is that we do wheelchair distribution where people can actually donate a wheelchair that's been used or a walker.
Oh, okay.
Then we actually use a prison ministry to be able to refurbish those and then take them to other places in the world that need them. So it's such a special thing. And then we try to make sure each community is locally taken care of as well. So for us, we serve Mississippi and Alabama, and we do that through different free community events, like one that's coming up this weekend on Friday. And then we also do different camps and retreats throughout the year to make sure families who have disabilities of any kind and people of any age can get to be there and try to get to do the whole summer camp experience in a way that's accessible to them.
I know y'all just had one last weekend. Where was it at, Azia?
Yes, we had one in Olive Branch last weekend that's called Barnyard Bash, and it is so great. It's such a fun event. And we're actually doing something really similar here in the Jackson area. We are partnering with Mosley Meadows, and we are doing a free community event for all ages, all accessibility levels. And with that, we're going to be doing a petting zoo, games, face painting. We're also going to have live music by Hunter Gibson, who I know is pretty big around here. We're really pumped about that. They do big open air dance floor for us, too, so it is really fun for people of all ages and abilities to be able to get out there and really dance and have a good time with their family. There are inflatables. We have one of my favorite things that I'm so excited about doing is we have a hayride that is wheelchair accessible, so anybody can get to be a part of that, as well as horseback riding. So it's just a really good time, and one of our very favorites, Mr. Michael Carr, who does Barbecue Shine, he is providing free food for everybody, too. So we'd love for anybody to come out, even if you have someone in your family who does not have a disability. It's just a great time for people to come out and support that community as well.
So this is coming up this weekend, right, Azia?
It is. It's on Friday. That's the 18th from 4 to 8 p.m.
Do you need to get tickets in advance or just sort of show up, or do you need to let you guys know that if you're coming to that, any of those kind of details for it?
It is completely free, so you can either show up and register there, or if you'd like to register online, it's Mississippi at johnnyandfriends.org.
Oh, I love that. Okay. I want to go back to the wheelchair, though, the Wheels for the World. I think this is really cool because you may have folks listening to Good Things, Azia, because we got them all over the state. They may have that old wheelchair or walker that they may not have anything to do with before, putting it out to the street or giving it away in a garage sale, which, I mean, the garage sale part may have its place. If you need to donate it to somebody who needs one in your family, we won't hate you there. But if it's just sitting there, this is such a great idea. How do they go about donating it or maybe getting it to you? And is it all sizes and types of wheelchairs that you guys take?
We do, and that's one of the things that's so special about this is that since we are a national organization, we have different drop-off points in each state. And so all you have to do is email us at the Mississippi and johnnyandfriends.org, and we can tell you where those are that are closest to you. But it is such a special way to get to pass that along to somebody else. We hear stories all the time, especially in a lot of third world countries, where there's people who have never even gotten to leave the same bedroom that they were born in. They will live their whole lives without that. Some people's families have to transport them by wheelbarrow. So that's the thing that we always call it as a seat of dignity. It gives people a chance to get to go live their life out in the world who maybe otherwise would not have had the chance. And another really cool piece of it is that we work with these prisons to get to have those refurbished. And just to watch how that ministers to those people is such a cool experience, too. It gives people a lot of job skills that they might have not gotten otherwise, and it gives them such a great sense of purpose. One of my favorite stories, my friend who is an area director in Nashville got to go visit where they do the refurbishments, and he was saying If we have sent them a letter, any article from Joni and Friends, they have kept it on the wall for the past 15 years. And it is something that each one of them have their own Joni and Friends story of how it's meant so much to them. So it's a really cool experience all the way across the board of how much it impacts people.
I think that's just a good reminder, Asia, of how we take so many things for granted here, in the States particularly, where, if you need a wheelchair, I know not everyone who needs one has access to one, but usually we're trying to get access to more sophisticated wheelchairs, not just your standard, sort of wheelchair. We don't stop and think that there may be families or people, in other parts of the world that just don't have any access to, and what a life-changing gift that would be to be able to better mobilize a family member by something as simple as a refurbished wheelchair. So I think that is like super cool. Okay, on like the daily basis, I mean, if you have someone listening with families with disability or a child, what is Joni and Friends doing, maybe besides just the events, if they want to connect with you guys?
So that's one of my favorite things is that there are so many spaces where we're just creating community here. We have online Bible studies for people who might not have a chance to get to go out and be a part of a church community. We also have worship that's available through our online programs as well, and education too. And we work with local churches to be able to make sure they're actually thinking about accessibility. It's one of those things where people don't really think of it in those terms, but people with disabilities are often not able to go out to churches and feel like they're a part of it because buildings are not ADA accessible. So we work with churches in partnership to do training and to help them look at their facilities to make sure it's actually available for people to come to them.
Well, okay, so if a church is listening, Asia, that's something that they could connect with you and say, hey, we want to make sure that we're providing a safe space or an accessible space, no judgment if we're not doing it right? Because you don't know what you don't know. What are some of the small things? Would it be just having wheelchair ramps or bathrooms that were accessible or places to sit? What are those small things if a church or a community organization's listening that they could change or do? I mean, building a ramp may be a little invasive, like easy, but what are some of the smaller things that people can do to make it easier for folks?
Yeah, so all of our training that we do for this is completely free. Park Fowler is our ministry relations coordinator, and she is amazing. We come out anytime and we'll help you look at your building just to think of simple things you can do. And that is really case by case. But for example, we had someone that called us out in North Mississippi recently. And as simple of a thing as it might seem is they only have stairs at the front of their church that you can see. They did have a ramp that's in the back, but for a family that's driving by and sees their parking is in the front, they'll look at that and say, oh, I don't know how my daughter, my child might be able to get into the building, actually. So they won't really look at that church as an option. So helping people just to realize things like that. Then we also stay very up to date on what is the most current ways to make sure everyone is ADA accessible. So we'll get you all of that material too.
Yeah, I think that's cool. And it's opening the doors for more people or just letting them know that you're thinking about them if that's where you want to go. I think that's definitely a good thing. Also, the faith component to this, Asia, I think it's a great thing. It seemed very intentional by the founder. How intentional is it with you guys and everything that you do that you weave the faith component into it?
It is the absolute core of what we do. Luke 14 is a very special chapter of the Bible for us where we look at that and Jesus very directly calls us to serve this community. And I think it's really unfortunate that a lot of people have never gotten to experience that who are in the disability community. So what we try to do is make sure that we are going to people who need us and that we make the doors wide open so anybody who does have a disability can feel always welcome to get to be part of anything that we're doing.
How did you find your way here, Asia?
So for me, I have background in nonprofit. Mm-hmm. I have mostly been working in elder care and dementia relations, and I got to the point where I just knew something had really connected in me where I wanted to work in ministry full time. And I have a child that, while she doesn't have a formal diagnosis, she has a lot of big behavioral issues that have kind of put us in a place where I felt like we were othered in a lot of spots where we didn't always have a place to fit. And I am a single parent as well. And so my first experience with Joni and Friends was actually a single parents retreat. And this is a special time where the parents get to go do Bible studies, and we have buddies for all the kids where your kids get to go be taken care of and have the full camp experience. And you get to do all of that with them too, but you also get that space as a parent to get to kind of be away and have time to focus. And within 20 minutes, I was like a bawling mess. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is my place, my people. And it is such a cool thing to get to see all those pieces get together. I knew within like that first day, I was like, well, they're going to have to drag me away. This is where I want to be.
Well, I love that too, and but it goes to show that you experience what they can offer, so you know how valuable it is to a family who may need it. And it sounds like this Friday would be a great time to come out and get to know Joni and Friends on a more personal level, if you just kind of want to ease into it. So that's Friday at Mosley Meadows. Is that what you said?
That's right.
And it's from what time?
4 to 8 p.m.
4 to 8 p.m. And you don't have to do a ticket. You just show up and
Right.
then join. But if we want to get more information on Joni and Friends or see some of the other upcoming events, where's the best place to go?
Our website is so great. It'll give you the any chance to get connected from where you are. If you're in Mississippi, though, which I'm assuming you are if you're listening, it's Mississippi at Joni, Joni, and Friends.org.
All right. I appreciate your time, Asia. You guys stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.